So if we see the fabrication technique, they mimic exactly the same thermoplastic based plastics, how we used to manufacture the products. Like they'll be taking some polymers and then they'll be using some additives, of course, and then they'll be also using some mold releasing agents, etc. So altogether, they'll be taking up to the, mixing chamber and then simultaneously they'll be doing all those things. So here, there are some few changes used to, do for the fiber reinforced plastics. Like there are sometimes like pre-bags and then like kind of like a multi-layer composite and nothing. How to use these pre-bags. So pre-bags are nothing but the fibers are immersed or impregnated with the partially cured thermoset resins to facilitate the shape processing of the desired fiber reinforced product. Okay? And it usually in the form of like a sheet-based structures, like available as a tabs or cross-piled sheet or fabrics. And then the curing is completed during or after the processing. Once the shaping is done, then they used to go for curing. Okay. And this is one of the technique like open mold process, and we do have one more process called closed mold process. Like so, it's a family of fiber reinforced plastic shaping process that use a single positive or the negative mold surface to produce laminated fiber reinforced structures. So the materials like they'll be, of course, they'll be using some fibers and then they'll be using some resins, kind of some thermoset resins. Okay. And this to the help of the layman, handmade, since it is handmade technique, they used to have the handmade processing, like kind of applying all those mold releasing agent and then applying resins and then putting those fibers, all these things. So all these things will be, done by manually. And these are some of the few classifications of open mold fiber reinforced processing processes, like a hand life technique and spray up technique and automated tab laying technique. And the major difference are in this method of applying the laminations to the mold as well as the curing method are the main changes which happen between these three techniques. So hand life is nothing but it's an open mold process and which successive layers of resin and reinforcement are manually applied to an open mold to build the laminated fiber reinforced structures. Okay. And it is there's no complicated here since like a kind of layer by layer fabrication. One layer will be as a resin and the next layer will be a fiber and then again the next layer will be a plastic or resins. So this is how they should do again. You have a mold here, and then first they'll be applying the mold releasing agent, okay, and then they also use some gel coat or the resin coating, and then they'll apply the fiber layer, okay. That means the pre-bag, okay. And once the pre-bag is applied, again they'll be applying the resins, and then they'll be having some rollers to make sure that the three layers are getting bonded well together. And then they'll be doing the curing, and then you can eject those product. Okay, so I'll show you one video where you can see like yeah. So now he is bringing up the pre-bag. I mean that means the fibers, continuous fibers, are impregnated with the pre-cured resin. You can see here the fibers are aligned randomly. Which are impregnated with the thermoset resins. Now first he is applying the mold releasing agents. This is some sort of some bonding agent is also being applied on the pre-bags, and then you can add multiple layers as well, the pre-bags. Yeah, now he's applying the resins as well as he's using the rollers to make sure that it's bonding well. And then again, he is applying some other the next fiber reinforced impregnated thermoset, I mean prepregs. So you can see how large the product can be fabricated with the help of this hand lathe. Okay. Yeah, of course, one disadvantage is that you not have those kind of consistency or uniform property throughout the surface since it is man-made, I mean manual versions. So there may be some slight changes in the properties you don't have those isotropic phase. And this is some of the examples where you can, I mean, see some of the examples of structures which are made by hand lathe process, I mean, boat hulls, swimming pools, suppose the large container tanks, and then other formed sheets, doomed sheets, etc. Okay, so these are a few examples where people use hand lathe technique for fabricating those fiber reinforced plastic structures. And spray method is also kind of a similar method, but the thing is that here they use automatic machines, okay, robotic dispense based machines, where they use continuous fibers, not the I mean pre-bed one. What they do they used to have I mean mold, and then they'll be applying the mold releasing agent, and then they'll be applying the thermoset resins. And the next steps, I mean subsequently they'll feed those chopped fiber, and then again they'll be doing those fiber alignment with the help of different rollers, and then they apply again the thermoset resins. Okay, and subsequently they'll have those kind of fiber reinforced structures. So you can see here, yeah, this is one of the scheme. Okay, the mold, and then they'll apply the mold releasing agent, and then they'll be applying some gel coat or kind of what should I say, kind of some additional cross linking agent, etc. And then you have one automatic, fully automatic machine where you have yarns. Yarns means continuous twisted forms of fibers, and that will be impregnated along with the resins and catalyst, etc. Okay, to have better adhesion between the matrix and the fibers and the matrix. And you have a different, I mean, knife or saw, okay, where it cuts the fibers into the small lengths, okay, and subsequently it's sprayed on the surface of the, I mean, gel or the thermoset resins. And yeah, this, I mean, steps continuous for 3-4 times to have those desired thickness. And once the desired thickness or the layer is done, then they'll go for curing steps at particular temperature, and then you can take out the product. So I'll show you one more video where you can see the spray method. But I didn't play it. Yeah. Now you can see the fibers are chopped into the small length and it's been spread on the surface of the resin. Now he's trying to fabricate the boat hull actually. Just trying to explain the where the fiber is coming, where the resins are there, and how it is impregnating into that fibers, and then how it's been spread on the surface.
So we can't hear the audio.
Yeah, but I can't do anything. I'll upload the video. I mean, I don't know how to get it. Are the other faculties are doing it done? I mean, perfectly or what? The audios are, you can hear the audio or?
So you can upload it in Teams itself.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'll
while
upload
sharing,
it.
so while sharing screen, you have an option to share the audio as well. So you can do it that time.
Okay, I'll
You
try
can
now.
stop sharing the screen and share it again. On the bottom, you'll have an option.
Okay. அண்ணே போட்டாச்சுண்ணே பார்த்துக்கோங்கண்ணே. ஆ ஃபோன்பே. ஆ ஓகே. The sounds are there now.
Once again, it's a high pressure style delivery gun.
Can
Yes,
you
sir,
hear the
it's
sound?
audible.
Okay, all right.
And it's the difference between that and the gel coater is it is uh, slightly lower ratio for pump pressure. We don't need higher pressure with this because unlike a airless system, this is an internal mix gun. Okay, so this means that the resin and initiator is mixed inside the head. So this requires a solvent flush system. See over here, that's the acetone, sorry, it's the solvent, and that flushes the head. So this requires.
This is actually a semi-automated. The human. The old man is handling those spray gun. Otherwise, we do have a 3D. Robotic-based dispensing system where you can control everything with the help of CAD design, and accordingly, the fiber. The spray gun used to dispense all the fibers.
The solvent tank. This particular tank here is air over catalyst. So unlike a slave pump where it relies on hydraulic pressure, this works independently from the resin pump. So what we're doing is we're converting air pressure, we're pressurizing the tank. So this works independently of the pump, and it's what's known as an air over catalyst system. Lower pressure, internal mix at the head, and up here we have a cutter. This is the chopper part of the gun. What this is an air motor that will drive.
You see that at a time how many yarns are getting into that machine? Spray gun.
A spindle which contains a blade holder, and we have some consumables in this head here. We have blades around the holder, we have rubber for a cop. Also we have some adjustments on it. We can adjust the tension of the rubber. We can have any amount of blades that we require for strand length. We can make adjustments for motor speed. So we can adjust the speed of the motor, and with this adjustment here, we can introduce air and fan out the glass, and we get the right adjustment to go into the fan of resin. What feeds into this cutter head is what's known as continuous roving. Okay. Unlike top screw where we can weigh.
Here, it's not story or the discussion or the concept like a prebex, because first layer will be thermoset resins, and second layer directly the fiber impregnated resin. Choked one, and again they'll be applying some gel coating or kind of thermoset resin coating. So likewise, the number of layers you can increase depending upon the thickness you want.
So what we do, we
So
measure
this
it
is
by
how
what's
we
known
call
as
the
hex.
fiber, or yarn. The fibers are twisted at certain angles, and yeah.
And the text of this particular roving is 2400. That means it's 2400 grams per 1,000 metres. So if we're to take this out for a kilometre, bundle up and weigh it, it will weigh 2.4 kilos. Now, being an internal mix, we need, as I said, we need a solvent flush. this bit here, this is an atomizer. Okay, so unlike the airless systems we're using in a gel coater, they're not relying on air to atomize, to create a spray pattern. By reducing the amount of air, we can reduce emissions. So it's part of the training for gun operators to learn how to control emissions.
The spray-up process is a method in which resin is sprayed onto the mould at the same time as the chopped rovings. The spray gun is moved in a predetermined pattern to create uniform thickness of laminate. Considerable skill is required to control this. The air pressure in the lines to the spray head and chopper are preset within certain limits to regulate the ratio of glass to resin that has to be simultaneously deposited. Additional layers of chopped rovings, woven roving or matte and resin may be added.
Here they are applying some pre-bakes as well to have more, reinforcement, having some better
to build
mechanical
up the
properties.
right component thickness. The sprayed fibre and resin material is compacted using a roller to consolidate the mixture and to create an even and smooth laminate surface. This also ensures that the laminate properly adheres with the gel coat surface and removes any air in the resin matrix. The whole laminate is allowed to cure at room temperature, after which the part is then demoulded and sent for finishing work.
Yeah, that's it. So here thing is that again, since it is a semi-automatic method, again the defect formation, something like getting voids between the layers, all these things will be very important. If that is continuing, then the properties will be affected. Yeah, to get rid of all those small things, yeah, people go with the fully automated one, kind of like a robotic dispensing based spray guns. So yeah, this one we'll see on Tuesday next week. So what's the difference between yarn and rovings? So rovings means it's a collection of fibers which are untwisted. Form. Okay. And yarn means it's a collection of lot of fibers and which is slightly twisted or kind of some certain angles. Each fibers are twisted at certain angles to make sure that they are having, highly entangled tissue. All right. So one important thing: do not copy assignment. So you have only 20 people, I think. So even if one script, if you are giving your script to others, and I'll be get to know easily. So if I get to know that you have copied, even if you are shuffling the things like 10 example, so both you will get 0 exercise. So don't do that. It's exercise for learning something. To make sure that you are doing yourself like independently. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Then see you next week. If you have any doubt, please. Okay. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.